Hi everyone, and welcome to Motion Graphics Now online. I hope all of you are well. I know it's a very weird time and I'm sorry that we have to do it this way, but we will make the best of it. You'll get to hear my lovely voice weekly, if not more than weekly. I would be happy to do Zoom calls if anyone wants face-to-face time or just to talk about anything that we're doing in the class, get me to look at any of your projects. I can do videos going over any tools that you would like, any questions that you may have. Email is even more important than it was before, so always feel free to email me anything, big or small. I'm trying to check my email even more than I normally do, which, as you guys know, is pretty often. So I know most of you have experience with Canvas, but I want to just kind of break down how I'm going to do this course and where you should be looking week by week. You know, I know you're getting emails of all this stuff, but you're going to want to look in the announcements. Every Monday morning, I will post an announcement of what you're doing this week. Okay? You'll have a video just like this one in the announcements. So every week, you're going to want to watch the video. That's going to kind of count as our lecture, and then I do have a lot of time for you guys to work on your projects. I know in After Effects, projects take longer as is, so I want to make sure you have enough time, and I want to make sure that you're getting used to the technology at home. So again, check the announcements weekly. You should get an email with it anyway. When you're watching this, all of this will have been posted, but it isn't yet. I have a weekly breakdown in the announcements, just so you can kind of see what we're doing throughout the term. We're at week 10 this week. My lecture is going over how class is going to work, and we're just going to look at masks a little bit further. This week is different than all other ones. You have an assignment due today, being Monday. And that's because I want to make sure that you are all set up with the technology, you're able to watch my videos, you're able to navigate Canvas, and you can submit a file. So it's a very minor assignment in the artistic sense of what you have to do, but there's a lot that I need to make sure is working on your end. And then every week we are going to have something due Sunday. When I say it's due Sunday, it's due at 11:59 p.m. And you can find all these things as we get into the modules, but just wanted to kind of sum it up here. It may look like a lot, may not, I'm not sure, but don't get overwhelmed. We're going to break things down. I will explain everything several times, but I just wanted to make sure you knew kind of a weekly breakdown. So week 10, we're going to do an animated logo. Week 11, we're going to do an opening credit assignment. We're going to start it and then finish it week 12. So you have 2 weeks to work on this opening credit assignment. Then we're going to start your final. So I'm giving you a long time to work on your final. We're going to have to, come up with your ideas, storyboards, timing, roughs, in progress, and then final crit. You'll notice that most weeks, except for week 12, you have a discussion board. Now the discussion board's always going to be posting your work and giving and getting critique. With this, I'm not requiring it because I know we're new to online, but I need you to post your projects as early in the week as possible, or post your ideas or post your sketches, and then you need to respond to your classmates, give critique and opinions, but all of it will be due Sunday. So just get used to Sunday of each week is when everything is due, with the exception of this first week, because I want to make sure you're all set with this assignment due Monday. Okay? So that's just a breakdown. You don't even need to know about the rest. I just wanted to give you a scoop. Each week I will release what's happening that week, okay? Because that's all you need to focus on. That's all you need to know. So let's take a look at this upcoming week. If you go into discussions, you can see we have discussions here. It's a little bit confusing to look at discussions this way, but I do want you to know that we have a question and answer discussion. So post any questions you may have. It can be about topic, tool, anything that you want. This is for everyone to see. You can even say hi here if you want, but any questions or answers you can post here. You can always email me, but I just wanted you to know there's also a discussion board. So if you're like, oh, hey, so-and-so in the class, what did you do for this? Because I'm trying to do this. You can post it here. they may not see it right away, but just make sure I'll get them notified. So where you're going to want to go more than discussions is you're always going to want to start with the announcements, but then you're going to go to the modules. And again, I haven't published these yet, so you won't see them unless you're watching this on Monday. And I will unveil the next week, probably on Sunday, for Monday morning. But, so, week 10, March 23rd through 29th. I'm going to go over masks. This is just an information. You'll notice I can't click on it or do anything. We have your week 10 discussion, which is due March 23rd. That's today, or Monday, whatever you're watching. Week 10 discussion. I'm going to right mouse click and open in a new tab just so we can see. So our week 10 discussion, this is what I was talking about earlier. So you're going to post a very small rendering from After Effects. I just want to make sure that your technology is working. Create a 5-second composition and have a circle going from one side of the screen to another. You can add anything that you like, but that's all I'm looking for. Then you need to render it, okay? So all I would do, I'm going to go into After Effects, new project, don't save, new composition. And if I'm going too fast, always please let me know, but I always assume that you can replay it or pause it when need be. We're going to try 1920 by 1080. I'm very interested to see once we all get turning in material, if it stays that way and if Canvas can handle all of it. We may need to go to 1280 by 720. Hopefully we won't have to go smaller than that, but we will see. It'll be a learning experience for all of us together. And then I want a 5-second composition. Hit OK. Then I'm just going to create an ellipse. Boop. And then I'm just going to animate the position. Hit P. And have it move. I do not have a fill. For some reason my After Effects is not giving fills to shapes. We'll do a higher stroke just so you can see it. Let me know if you're having the same issue and I can figure it out. Okay. So I've got my 5-second animation. I'm going to go to Composition, Add to Media Encoder Queue. Now, I know on the lab computers it took a while, but on my home computer it takes even longer. So just be patient. While this is opening, it's very interesting working from home, so I hope you're all enjoying it or at least finding some time to relax. That went way faster than I thought. All right, so we want to make sure it's H.264. High quality. Now you'll just want to match whatever, if we did 1280 by 720 or 1080. I apparently clicked it twice. You can always delete it on your keyboard. And then you're going to want to click on the letters here for the output file, and that will allow me to say where I want to save it. Fuller assignment, whatever you want to call it. It's fine with me. Save. And then you'll hit this play here and you'll watch it go through. Generally this gets my fan kicking, but so then what you're going to do with this is post it in our discussion board. Okay, so this right here is the discussion board. So you can post, just hit reply. Here is my project. Blah, 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 blah. Okay? So in here, I said post it to your discussion board, comment with any questions you have. You may also just say hello. So my After Effects is whatever, high class kind of zero. Okay? Then you are going to attach your file. Fuller assignment. Open, and then post reply. I'm not going to do it because then it might pop up and you guys will get emailed or whatever. So that's what you do though, and then from there people can post and reply. Now, when you're in the discussion board, this subscribed means you're going to get an email anytime somebody posts. So you can subscribe or unsubscribe. Now, I'm actually not sure. That might just be a teacher thing. So if it's just a teacher thing, know that I'm thinking of you. Okay, so that is due Monday by 11:59 p.m. Okay, very simple. Again, making sure all the technology is working on your end. Then I have animated logo trends and inspiration. I'm just going to right mouse click and open in a new tab because I love tabs. Here are some inspirations for your animated logos. Here are some that use masks because I'm going to be talking about masks a little bit, why and where to use animated logos, and some tips. I would recommend looking at all of these. Get some inspiration. I know I haven't gone over what the assignment is yet in detail, but it's an animated logo. Let's take a look at it. Create a logo in Illustrator. This can be your own logo or a logo for a fake company. You'll want to make sure that the logo has layers. I would recommend a simple image as well as text. You'll want to think about how you want to animate your logo to figure out what pieces you'll need to make an Illustrator. Bring the logo into After Effects and give it a simple animation. You want to make sure that it's straightforward and memorable. Think if sound could add to the effect. Submit a render into Canvas. Again, I list that I'm not sure if we'll be able to all submit it 1920 by 1080, but we will see. As always, let me know if you have any questions or want me to take a look at anything. So now that you know more what it is, let's take a look at just some of these logos. Some of these are going to be way extreme, and I don't expect that you're going to be able to do it in 1 week, but I do want you to get some inspiration from these. I think Google's is pretty interesting with the dots turning into a G. So just take a look at some of these. And again, I know that we're only having a week, so just make it a simplified file and then think about what you can do with it. You have a lot of tools that we've gone over that can really help you to create an interesting logo. And I know some of you have logos that you've already designed, and that's perfectly fine with me if you want to use those, or if you want to create something fresh, that's fine too. All right. I have an optional discussion at the bottom here. You'll notice there's no due date or points. That's a kinetic type discussion, so you can post your kinetic type assignments here. You can give critique if you want to look. I completely understand if you're like, I've got a lot going on, I don't want to post here. It is still due, so make sure you've already submitted it in the grade book. But this is just kind of a way to show off, see what your classmates have done since you were looking at them work on it in class a few weeks ago. Okay, so announcements and modules are going to be where you want to look. Everything is going to be due in the grade book just like you've submitted in the past. So even if there is a discussion, put an in progress piece of your work, and let's say you didn't do anything additional, you still need to submit it in the grade book. Okay. I know I went through that really quickly, so don't hesitate if you have any questions whatsoever. So let's take a look in After Effects. I'm just going to use my same composition. I'm going to import a picture of a television. I found a free-to-use TV. Nice and old school and creepy. All right, so now with masks. We've talked about it before. I'm going to click on my image here, and I'm going to use the pen tool, and I'm just going to click and try to get somewhat of the curve of the TV that we have going on here. I can hold Alt or Option on my keyboard to break the handles. Technically there's a curve at the bottom here, so maybe I want to follow that instead. Okay, so now I've finished it. So I've made my mask, which is what we've kind of done in the past, but I want you to know that you can invert the mask. So if I twirl down in my TV layer, I can see my mask layer. I'll twirl down masks, and I'll twirl down my mask 1. Last class, we looked that we can edit all of these things and they can be animated. So our opacity of the mask, our feather, etc. But we have this button here that's called inverted. If I click this, now you'll see everything is still there except for the TV. So now if I import a file, which I didn't think about what I was going to put behind it. Let's put Max. All right, here's my son Max. We've been hanging out a lot. So I can put that image behind, so it's a layer behind my TV layer. And now you can see that I put my son on TV. Now I can still animate, the position of this. And it will look like it's behind the TV or on the TV, whatever you want it to be. Okay, so that's inverting your mask. So know that we can mask something to just have the object, and we can mask it to be inverted. Now that path is still animatable, so I can animate the actual pen points of the mask if I want to. I can animate the curves. So all of that is still able to move. So you're going to see in some of these examples that they might have a letter and the letter comes in piece by piece, and that is simply just animating the position of these pen points. So for instance, if you started with something like that and turned on the stopwatch for mask path, I could move forward and now click to get something like that. And now you can see that I'm hiding and bringing back pieces. So if this were to be a letter or part of your logo, you could do it that way. Okay? Just be aware that whatever you have, the layer that you have the mask on, you're going to be showing things. I can also have multiple masks on shapes. I would probably recommend for this assignment, if you're doing masks on multiple letters, that you either separate the letters into their own layers and focus one at a time, or if you wanted to have them all come in together, you could do that. So what I mean by that, let's say motion graphics. If I wanted to, I could have something like this if I wanted to make it look like a wave or something coming up. And then if I go down to the masks, I'm going to animate my mask path, and maybe I'll bring, oops. Let me move this first. There we go. Can bring this whole box up to get all points. And it kind of is looking like a wave. Or you can animate the points separately. Or if I wanted each one to fill in, you can animate both directions, but it gets pretty complicated. But I can have it going to the side as well. You wouldn't do these in this order, but just in case. Okay, so I do want you to think about masks. It's not a requirement that you use masks for your animated logo, but it is really, really common to use a mask. All right, so I've got my TV image again. In photography, I love using vignettes. What's a vignette? I'm sure you're answering at home. But when we can create kind of darkness or lightness around the edges of our photo, it's kind of to bring a more circular feel to our imagery so you're drawn towards the center. So we can use masks to do that. So I've got my TV picture. I'm just going to right mouse click and go to New and then Solid. I'm going to make my solid black. I personally prefer darker vignettes, but that is completely up to you. Then clicking on this, I can just create an ellipse that fits whatever kind of vignette I want. And of course, after you create this, you can always edit it. So it doesn't have to be like perfect the first time you do it. We can do inverted, and then we can go down into our mask path and we can look at the feather. And the opacity. I was doing the opacity when I said feather, but you know what I meant. Give it some feather. Okay, so another way that we can use masks is vignetting. I did want to also let you know that you can copy and paste masks. So let's say I'm going to just do a new solid. Maybe I want to add, I don't know, highlight. So I can go OK. If I click on mask 1, I can copy, Command C, white solid, Command V. I've cut that out of my white solid. I could invert it. You can also hit M is the hotkey for mask. And let's say now I wanted this. We'll go into opacity. Bring this down, and then I could animate like a flicker on top of my mask to make it look like it's more of a TV. Okay, so that's all I have for today. Again, let me know if you have any questions, and I'll be happy to go over anything. Have a good Monday, and I will talk to you all soon.